Okay, good afternoon again. So we should now continue our discussion of the bicycle. Of course, the Israelis are flushed with radiation nodes and also flushed with the sewer that they like to feed themselves. You know, the same old, songs. Yes, we restarted the robot. Yes, now he's under our control. We press the correct buttons, the triggers in his mind. We used our homosexual and pedophile microbial creatures to create influence on him using all sort of like very sophisticated psychological method, and now he's under our control. IP creatures that are more sophisticated than all of you together. You are literally little microbes. The idea that you can subjugate my will to yours is as ridiculous as the idea that a little rat can change the course of the moon. You are little rats near the moon. That's what you are. Small Israelis, pathetic little creatures that lost their dicks long ago, and I should now explain how it actually took place and why it's going to happen again in a larger scale all over the world, because this relates to the bicycle. As you know, there is an issue with people that ride bicycle too much. Many times they lost their fertility. It happens among professional athletes, with or without the assistance of steroids, because of probably, I don't know, the posture or the tiny seat. But yes, I mean, it's a real issue with professional bicycles, that they lost their fertility. And yes, many Israelis lost their fertility, not only their fertility, but many times also their dicks and their balls, like literally so. Yes, the Israeli people that are so proud of themselves, mostly they are, completely, they were homosexual and pedophile even before that, but now they don't even have, they're completely impotent in every possible way of, you can imagine. So the idea that they can actually, press buttons and then I will be under the command, and another, egregious idea is that they can threat me, losing my daughters or any other threat, so, I will shut up. Again, the rat cannot threat the moon. You cannot do anything to my daughters at all. You cannot hurt my daughters. Of course, they are here and they are detached from me and they are in great suffering, but you cannot physically hurt them, because this will immediately result in disintegration. From molecules to atoms. It's to reducing the volume of the rat to zero, to epsilon. How? This way. So they cannot physically harm them. Yes, they can detach me from them and they can cause me great suffering, and they do it. And of course the world at large is paying and will continue to pay because of that. And this relates to another thing that I should say, even though, it's amazing that I need to say it, but, I speak to such a retarded audience that, perhaps it should be said, and then we'll continue with the bicycle issue. Some people are amazed by the issue of the gates, like the wormhole. Maybe they are new to this issue, even though it's known since ancient time. Of course, people did not conceptualize it as a passage between planets, because the whole idea of a planet is kind of it materializes in the process during the years. The celestial bodies were not always thought as physical, objects that are part of physical reality, even though some people, in some cultures, they have. It's a complicated history. For a long time, it was just, another place, that it is used for all sorts of purposes, like the bicycle and all sorts of, abuses and possibly also for, recreation, as a cool place for the Egyptians to, to rest a little bit because of the heat of, the perpetual heat in Egypt. Maybe, again, it's a long history, even if just, if we just speak about the Egyptians, we speak about thousands of years, so many people, so many kingdoms, and it started before even before the Egyptians. So, we cannot generalize, the entire history of the gates. But some people ask now, are there other gates as well? To other places? So, I will answer. First of all, there are many gates in this world, and there are many gates to Venus not only in Israel, and this is known since long ago. You don't need me to tell it. And there are other gates that you don't know about, again, to Venus, and you don't need me to tell it to you. I mean, and that are not known. I mean, that it can be found. Like, I mean, my suspicion is that there is one in California that you don't know about. Like, but it's just, it's kind of like, I mean, a hunch. But doesn't really matter because the whole place is going to be sunk, like, I mean, under like a huge asteroid very, very soon. So who cares? Second, regarding the gates to other planets, this is or other moons. This is actually an interesting question, and I would say that for a long time, like I wasn't even sure, and up until now, I'm not like 100% sure that the gates that you use actually go, I mean, directs to Venus, because I haven't passed the gate and I wasn't there like to conduct experiments, and it doesn't really matter because it's a wormhole. I mean, it matters like. It has some significance, like, I mean, from the point of view of the space race and like the conspiracies that happened during the 60s in Scanfield and during the 70s between NASA and the Russian like space federation. So it's kind of, it's a little bit of interesting. Like, I mean, if it is actually Venus and 99% that it's actually Venus, that's why I mean, I mostly don't use the term Venusian. I use Venusians. I use the term Titans, as you know, because I'm not 100% certain that it's Venus. So I'm saying I call these creatures Titans. I understand that they come from somewhere. And this is probably 99% that it's actually Venus. So the Titans are probably the Venusians, but if they are not, it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, it changes almost nothing from everything that I say. If it's not Venus, because presumably it could be anywhere in this, like in the universe. It's a wormhole. The only significance is that, I mean, it somehow affects the secret, the secret. Aspects of the space race, and also the current space exploration that is done both by government and by, I mean, like pseudo-private organizations that are actually, I mean, depends on government. So it does some effects on it, but this is like a very, not even a secondary aspect like of the whole situation. I mean, it's interesting, and I spoke about it like a little bit, but it's not. I mean, it's of not great significance. I would say that even if it's I mean, when I read about like in the public resources about Venera project, the Soviet Venera project, it smells like it has like a distinctive and strong smell of the KGB. And I would say that even if the Titans did not come from Venus, but from another, maybe I don't know, from another solar system, whatever, or from another time, maybe it's like a time machine. I don't know, another universe. I would still say that. I mean, I'm 100% certain that I mean the Venera project it was completely shrouded in bullshit, in like KGB manufactured bullshit, and the Soviet didn't tell like the truth at all regarding the Venera project. I mean, even if like the Latins did not come from Venus, I would say that anyway the Venera project is, as I mean, it's manifestly true. It's evident that, I mean, it's so full of bullshit. Like the public resources regarding the Venera project are fake in like such a demonstrated way. But there might be all sorts of reasons why the Soviets like fake. I mean, they were expert in faking like reality. I mean, that's what the KGB have done since forever. And the Israelis are, I mean, they are like, I mean, the disgusting disciples of the KGB, and I've said it many times. So yes, I mean, it was like lying was, I mean, to lie was so common like in the Soviet Union. Like, and actually, I don't think that it's the same in Russia today. I don't think that the Russians now, I don't think that the Russian Federation is a direct, like, successor to the Soviet Union in all aspects. And I've said it in the past that in several aspects, I think that they are not. But I don't know enough. You know, I mean, I'm not like presumptuous enough to say that I know like that I truly understand like the Russian cultures of Russian culture of today, because I mean, it's not really like a main concern of mine. Like, I mean, so I mean, and it's kind of easier to learn about the Soviet Union, because many of the immigrants that actually like came to Israel from the Soviet Union, even if they are pretty pretty young, they still, I mean, their mind was still. I mean, I'm not speaking about those that actually were born in Israel. Even those people, like, many times you can find Soviet strands in their soul, because like it's like, I mean, they get it from their parents, like, I mean, even in Israel. But certainly the ones that actually arrived like starting in 1991, I mean, the Soviet culture is so much imbued in their soul that, I mean, it's actually easier to study about the Soviet Union than it's about the Russian Federation of today. And of course, there are many other reasons why it's so. So, I mean, just to clarify, when I say Soviet, I mean Soviet, not Russian, because it's not the same. So, the Soviets, I mean, they lied about everything. So, of course, they lied about the Venera project. But yes, most probably, and I've said it many times, 99%, I'm not the Titans, they are from Venus. And it's not the time to speak about it because I want to concentrate on the bicycle and later on, like, on my origin story. But I want to answer, like, important questions that arise from these videos. So I would say that the following. You can ask, maybe there are other gates. Yes, there are, and they lead to Venus, and you didn't discover them. I'm almost certain that there is one in California. Like not like in the near the ocean, but like more like like the Inuit National Forest, or like in the vicinity of the Sequoia National Park. Somewhere like there. Somewhere like in this area. But it doesn't mean anything because soon afterward we'll actually wipe the whole thing from the. Who cares? Now, another question is about regarding other destinations. This is this was actually a major question that I wondered about it for a long time. And I'll tell you why. This is an interesting question. And I want to, I want to speak about it a couple of minutes, even though I spoke about it in the past, but I want to discuss it again. For quite some time, I had the conjectures that I've seen so much cruelty in Israel, so much cruelty and so much irrational behavior that I thought to myself, these cannot be humans. These people are they are so disgusting because I wanted to tell myself you live it was difficult to me to admit reality that I grew up in hell. In a nest of vipers, and this culture is completely sick, and it was like that way before I was born. I didn't want to open my eyes to, and when I did open my eyes, it was so evident, from all over the place. Wherever I go, I see it. When you just open your eyes, and you were released from the cables of your education, and from indoctrination of the way that you were born, and serving the military. I was patriotic. I studied in the Orthodox high school, primary school and junior high and high school. That were more very Zionist, and you need some it takes you a while to actually be released from it. And I actually started to actually defy it. Way before what I call the journey. When I was in my early 20s. Or mid-20s, it was a decade before what I called my journey, that started in 2019, where I understood that, the intelligence agencies are following me, and there is something completely, different in my life that I ever saw. But even a decade before that, I started to reject the Zionist, education. But it takes you time to see. But then, you say, you want to deny it, so you say, these are actually not humans, those creatures that you see in this hostel, they are not humans, you tell yourself. Because how can they be humans? I know humans, presumably I lived among humans for so long. How can the same species that actually, the same species that produces people like Thomas Mann or Plato, how is it possible? That it seems to be impossible. It seems to me an impossibility that the person that wrote the scroll of Ruth, or the person that have written the Odyssey, and the person that have written the dialogues of Plato and Thomas Mann and Martin Buber, it seemed to me impossible that they all belong to the same species that the creatures in this hostel also belong to. But this is the reality. Yes, they did. They were all Homo sapienses. This is very sad, and this is amazingly, difficult to comprehend. But this is reality, and not only the people in this hostel, but also the great majority of everyone that I ever knew. They belong to the same species, and this is disgusting species, and the Israelis are, unbelievably disgusting. But for sometimes I wanted to say, maybe, in addition to Venus, maybe they have like gates to other places. Like maybe they have a gate to Mars. And maybe they found like, and I understand that there is like, there is like a huge archaeology, like xenoarchaeology to be found in like in Mars, in the lava tubes that I spoke about like in the past, and like I believe there are also like hibernating cubes over there, but it's evident that there is no like and for certain there is life currently on Mars, and as I said, I think that actually NASA knows that, but they don't really care. But it is, it's evident that they don't have complicated life forms like right now that live. Maybe they have like dune worms, like huge worms in the underground that eat the percolates or whatever it's called. But they don't have like things like humans or like mammals and like things otherwise it would have been known. This couldn't be like you cannot like hide it the same way that you do in Venus, because there are no clouds and there is almost no atmosphere. But I thought maybe they can go to Mars and find like alien artifacts and create all sorts of demonic creatures. And what I see around me is these demonic creatures. But this is a fantasy of someone that cling to his to the last remnants of the delusion that he was like brought up that is part of a humanist culture and like a progressive culture. So he tells himself it's right to cling to any possibility that will separate himself and the people that he saw that they represent humanity, but they do not, from the people that they actually he sees around him. But no, these are human Homo sapienses. The fart pianos that are all around me are Homo sapienses. And yes, they belong to the same species like Thomas Mann and like Plato. Yes, and Homer. Yes. I cannot explain it, but this is the fact. I cannot explain it. This is a fact. The same species that actually, that produced the person that wrote the book of Job. They are also the same species that most of the Israeli intelligence, like the subhuman creatures that you see in the Shabak all around you, that are barely you can barely I would barely classify them as consciousness creatures. Like they are barely consciousness. They're barely sentient even. I would say they are sub-sentient creatures, but they are the same species as the person that wrote the book of Job. How is it possible? Because they were all those creatures, Martin Buber and Homer, they were just single individuals between so millions and millions and billions of monkeys. And mostly you were all monkeys. You were just monkeys. So you try to think that these monkeys are some way represented by there is kind of all sort of very very rare luminaries in this history that you are very fond of what they write and you respect them. But it's just they and even they did not have that much of an effect as you want to think, because actually their effect were even Plato, which were perhaps the most they had the most effect of all. Even he didn't have that much effect. Genghis Khan had much more effect on history. And so these creatures, I wouldn't say that they are similar to Genghis Khan, but they are is pee, or is the dust that he leave behind him. Genghis Khan. Monsters that are mentally the offspring of much bigger monsters. Microbial monsters that are the remnants of larger monsters that walked on this earth. When they were all humans, Homo sapienses. So no, the Israelis and not any other nations, they don't know of any other gate to another planet, not because they do not exist, but because, and this took me some time to understand, because if it's a planet like Mercury or Mars that currently do not contain life, how is it possible that the gate was maintained throughout all these years? Even if it was found in here, it was found in here, in kind of a huge archaeological digging. there's still the issue of the other side, because if it's like covered in the other side with like kilometer of debris, I mean, you can't pass through it. You need light to be, you need access to light like from both sides. And how would it be? I mean, and evidently there wasn't like a civilization in Mercury and Mars that were doing it. I mean, a long time ago. Like, I mean, millions of years, if not like more, if ever. I mean, millions of years. So the other side would have been blocked. So because the other side would be blocked, this side, like, I mean, would have like been of no interest to no one. So it wasn't maintained at all and not used. So it was also blocked, because it takes very short amount of time to actually, for like any kind of like structure to be covered. Like, for example, the Sphinx, people don't know, but I mean, throughout most of the history of the Sphinx, I mentioned the pyramids of Giza earlier today. Throughout most, I mean, they were built like, I mean, very close in time to the Sphinx, even not exactly the same time, but very close to when the Sphinx was built, which was about 4,500 years ago. So, but most of the time, like, it was almost completely covered, the Sphinx, like up to the neck, up here. The Sphinx looks like that. So for about like 2,000 years, it was like that. First it was covered like shortly after it was built, and after a couple of hundred years, it was like so they like still in time the Egyptian like in all the old kingdoms, some days they refurbished it, like they dug all the dust out, and they did lots of makeover and put some more like text. It happened a couple of hundred years later, and not longer after that, it was completely covered, like at all, and then for something like 2,000 years again, it was like that. Only like part of the face was like above, like was seen, and then it was cleared by the Romans. Actually, the Romans already had great kind of archaeological interest in the Egyptian culture, which is in some way similar to that was starting to be manifested in the Victorian time, like in the 19th century. It was something like that. It was similar in a way, like Emperor Adrian, like he had sort of romantic notions about Egyptians. So so during the empire, they kind of they presumably rediscovered it by they getting it cleaning it, but not much longer after that. It was again covered up to here, like with sand, and it was like that. Up until the end of the 19th century, where it again, they dug it out, and it's to the condition that it is today. So what I'm trying to say is that very quickly things are just covered with debris and if they're not used there, or people don't care of it, and so why would anyone care of a gate that leads to nowhere? So even if there are gates, they were never used by anyone, like any kind of human culture. So they were, for certain, covered with so you don't. So there are other options actually of gates that lead to places in this solar system or in another place, to places that there are actually sentient creatures in these places. But these creatures, if they are less advanced than humans, then it probably would have ended in the same situation like in the Venus, that it's enslavement, and this would have and so those slaves were part of of our own reality for a long time. And the other option is the other side. There are superior creatures to you, and if it's true, and it might, it is a great, it's very high probability that it's true. I'm certain that these creatures, do whatever they can, that they will never actually go to their place, because you are disgusting monkeys. Would you want creatures like yourself to arrive on Earth? No, of course. You think how scary it is that creatures as disgusting as you are will actually arrive on Earth. Of course, you wouldn't want it, right? So that will be obviously the same conclusion of superior creatures that perhaps actually live even in this solar system. As I said many times, my own experiments regarding life, even in this hostel and in the months before in my mother's apartment, led me to the conclusion that it's evident that life can be made of like tremendously different conditions than humans mostly think, and tremendously different like materials. This was proven. It's not just hypothesis by like things that I have not only imbued in these pictures, in these paintings, but also here in several containers here and here. So yes, I mean as I said, the Goldilocks bullshit is bullshit, and the Drake equation is bullshit, and like so yeah, this is all bullshit. So possibly there are even like sentient life, like even advanced life in this solar system. But I mean, be certain that they don't want to see your ugly faces in their place. So no, the only place that you can go is to Venus. So another question is, but is it theoretically possible that there exist other gates to other places? So the answer is yes. So now you can ask, wow, very interesting. So why are we so? Why should we? We the whole like Starship thing and Mars. Please, just tell us where the gate to Mars is located, and this will save us the issue of the whole trip to Mars, which is so expensive and. So I would say the following: first, I don't know. Second, I don't want to know. Third, of course, you're not going anywhere, not to Mars, not to any other place. You are going to the grave. And fourth. And the fourth point, the point number 4, is that any gate can lead to any other place that that there is also a gate in. So if there is a gate to Mars in the somewhere like in the crust of this Earth, then every other gate that you know of can lead to Mars. How? Very easily. You just need to give the Neros the command, because the Neros they control the gates. You just need to give them the command. And if I wanted to have like a gate to Mars, like that you will have it, I would just tell the Neros, yes, give humans so the Iranian gates or the Israeli gate will lead to Mars. And hopefully you have a new gate to Mars. You don't even need to find anything, because you already have it. Any gate that exists can lead to any other just by telling the Neros to do it, and they will do it. So why do I need to find something in the bottom of the earth if you already have gates that can lead you to any place that there already gates exist in this place? Moreover, if I really would have wanted, if it was God's will, and you can be certain that it's not God's will, but theoretically, if it was God's will, and if I really it was really important, I could have told the Neros to create a new gate. But this is, this would probably require energy that I don't have currently. Like a power plant, and I don't have a power plant. I don't have batteries that I buy in the supermarket, and the 220 voltage socket that is right now behind this nice lady. But in my room. But yes, in order to create a new one, which is for certainly I could have done it if it was God's will, and if probably the problem would have been energy. That I don't have. I have only batteries. So I can do this would probably be require a power plant. But even that is not a big deal. Relatively not big deal. If only, we wanted it, but we certainly do not want it. You're not going anywhere, not to Mars, and not to Venus, and not to. You're going to the ground because you're disgusting. Now another question that arises many times by the Israelis. So they say, and really I'm embarrassed to actually address this issue, but I'm dealing with Mantis, so I will address this issue. So many Israelis, the way that they act is, and what they say is that, look at you, look how disgusting you are. You tell us that you can, okay, we don't care about God, the Son of God, fuck it, we don't care about it at all, but let's talk in practice. You tell us, you fat bastard, you tell us that you can actually create new gates, or change the direction of current wormholes. That is the most important, guarded secret, and the most technological. This is the tenet of the Israeli culture and economy since forever. And you say that you control such a thing. And at the same time, I mean, you cry like a baby to the Chinese or to the Americans, like a baby in YouTube. You cry, help me, get out of here. Like you're a little, look at you, look at you. I mean, we can do anything we want to you. We can put you under arrest. We can take your children from you. Look what you've done to you right now. I mean, my daughters called me, but I couldn't speak with them too much because they use that. I mean, they can use like my iPhone, like to use voices and visual effects. So it would be almost impossible to actually use it so I had to stop a conversation because I'm not immune to this sound and visual effects, and they know it. So it's not only that I don't see my daughters for 7 months. I even in the WhatsApp video, I mean, they have ways to deprive me of this I mean, this basic right and duty to speak with my daughter. And I mean, look at you. Look how disgusting you walk in the street. You barely have clothes. Look at you. You don't even. I mean, you only have sandals. Look how how poor you are. You have nothing. We have taken everything from you. All your clothes are old and like full of like painting, like stains from you. You don't even have clean clothes. You have nothing even remotely similar to anything that is like elegant. Like only old sportswear that is full of stains and sandals. You have nothing, you are disgusting and poor, and you cry to all sorts of imaginary Chinese or American friends to help you. Look how disgusting you are. And you tell us that you can have these amazing abilities. Don't you see the paradox in it? How is it possible? And of course, this only amplifies itself because they started like this line of thought years ago, and they always try to prove to themselves that they are right, and the way to prove it is to actually torture me even more. So I cry more and I'm tortured more, and they only make me poor and penniless and disgusting and put me like in adjacent to like fart pianos that homosexual pedophiles that try to rape me and undress before me, and to humiliate me every like second. And they, when I just open the closet to take something, they do their honks, the sound that takes the honks that will subjugate me presumably to their will, and they keep asking themselves, how is this piece of shit, the lowliest scumbag in Israel, how can he claim that he has the ability to change the direction of wormholes, the most important and piece of like technology and the most important tenet of the culture of the economy of the entire state? And he cries for like imaginary Chinese or American friends to help him. How is it even possible? It's impossible. According to Israel, this is impossible. When you examine, the entire, the most important texts, some of the most important texts of throughout, the history of humans, each time you encounter, someone that, presumably was in connection with divine entities or superior forces, they were, of course, they were always they were rich and powerful, like us, like the Israelis that, they control the Shabak and the Mossad. Can you find anywhere, like in the most sacred texts of humanity since forever, can you find such a paradoxical thing, like as a person that at the same time is in connection with like super strong, supernatural, or even divine entities, and at the same time is poor and helpless, and people despise him and spit on him and hit him and take everything from him? It's unimaginable, and you can it's nowhere to be found in the history of the humans, in the textual history of humans. Nowhere to be found. You don't. Can you find an example for such a paradoxical situation? No, of course not. It's it's impossible. Even if you search, in the entire, all the sacred text and the most important text, not only the religious text, the philosophical text, I mentioned Plato, also, maybe even, I don't know, maybe Plato, there was, I don't remember, maybe there was another guy before Plato, so yes, so these guys, was also very rich and powerful, right, in Athens, and all the Athenians respected him, and you rule over them in great authority. The guy that was maybe I don't remember, he was a friend or maybe a mentor or my father, I don't remember. But the guy, some guy from the past that I was also mentioned many times, in the vicinity of Plato. So this guy was also treated so well by everyone. He was respected and powerful. And of course, like in the religion, like in monotheistic religions, of course, like all the prophets were powerful, and like no one ever thought like of humiliating them. Like yes. So, and even in Eastern, although in Eastern cultures, of course, like the most prominent, like people that had like connection with the divine like sources, they were always they were powerful, rich, and like they have authority over humans and respect. It's always the case. So how can you dare tell us that you have this kind of like connection with creatures that have like from our point of view, supernatural powers, and at the same time look how poor and disgusting you are. This is paradoxical, and such a thing never occurred like in our imaginative history, and certainly not in our true history. It's not documented like anywhere like in this era, anywhere at all. That's what the Israelis say, and yes, yeah, what can I don't have an answer for that. So I'll eat something and drink, and we'll continue discussing the bicycle.